Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Shout out to the Salem Coven members who are seeing this first. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. And if you haven't already connected to me over on Patreon, it's completely free to join. You'll still get some perks. I'll occasionally drop a YouTube video there early, or I'll make a video that was previously only accessible for the Salem Coven members, accessible for everyone. If YouTube ever takes down a video after I post it, which does happen, it will be available for free on Patreon, plus it's ad-free. However, if you are interested, you can join the Salem Coven members who get early access to all my content. They're usually about 6 to 8 weeks ahead of YouTube. They get extended versions. They also get tons of exclusive content, things that I just can't post on YouTube, or even if I can post it on YouTube, I have to blur it. Things like official music videos, requested live performances, interviews, concerts, documentaries. They get more weigh in on what I do next, votes on the artist deep dives, on videos like this for the Introduction to series, things like that. All the information will be in the description below. Today, we are going to do our next installment in the Introduction to series. In case you aren't familiar with this, it is basically where the Salem Coven members on Patreon, we have a Google form they fill out, and it gives me kind of their top artists that will do just kind of my introduction to the artist. Hopefully we'll get to that artist's full discography in the future, because on this channel I do kind of like the beginning of an artist's career through up to present day, do a full artist deep dive. I've done that for Kendrick Lamar, done that for Tyler Creator, almost done with Frank Ocean's, and then we're going to be doing J. Cole next, and then JID. But in between those artist deep dives, we do these introduction to, along with a couple of other types of videos, but this is where they will pick 3 or 4 songs from different points in an artist's career, just to give me a little bit of like a highlight reel. I really love these videos. It just gives me something to look forward to in the future as well, and gets to kind of just give me a little sneak peek, if you will. So today we are doing Denzel Curry, which I feel like has been an artist that's been asked for quite a bit. There was 3 tracks that were by far the most requested, so we are going to do those 3. However, I am going to add a 4th one in there, and I'm going to be honest, one person suggested it, and when I saw it, I was like, I just want to do it, so I'm adding it in because it has Billie Eilish and JID, which is cool because we do plan on doing JID after J. Cole, and I really enjoy Billie Eilish's music, so I thought that would be kind of cool to throw that one in there. I don't always do music videos in these types of videos. It just kind of depends, but the first song is Ultimate, and it has a remix, and the remix has a music video. And so what one of my mods had said was perhaps I should do the original version just to listen to the song, because I will get distracted by visuals. So I usually like to listen to a song and then go into the visuals, and then listen to the music video, which I think includes Juicy J, which I think they said was, let me get my notes, Juicy J from 3-6 Mafia, which was one of his biggest influences. So I like that approach. So that's what we're gonna do. So the single was January 1st, 2015. Lead single, maybe. Was this not on an album? No, it is. Okay. I don't know why the album itself isn't showing up on Apple Music. Maybe it was an exclusive somewhere else. Oh, it just wasn't coming up. No. I think for this video it really doesn't matter that much, but it looks like maybe the full project came out on June 9th, 2015. Okay, to my knowledge, I've not heard anything from this artist. I don't think I heard any of these songs, but obviously I will let you know if that's different. Sometimes I do get spoiled by TikTok. The only reason I bring this up is because this has been happening a lot lately. I'm like, wait, I've heard like a clip of it on TikTok, so, but I'll let you know. Well, this was 2015, so that would have been kind of before, right? Well, that doesn't mean anything though, because anything can blow up on TikTok at any point. Okay, never mind. I was about to be like, well, I guess that actually doesn't matter, but okay, focus. Focus. I really like this album cover. It's like very trippy, and I like it. Kind of glitchy. That's cool. I hear nothing. Oh my god, did I break this? Oh, shit. No! Oh my god, I dropped these earlier. Did I break them? Hello? Hand? Can you... Oh my god, I actually broke them. Oh, fuck. No! Oh my god, wait. Oh, this is devastating. I mean, I can connect them Bluetooth, but I just don't know if that'll work. I don't have any other headphones that have a cord that could go into the aux deal. My other ones don't use that type of cord. Okay. Well, hold please. Not me lying straight to your face. I don't have any more headphones. I mean, I don't. Headphones, these are not technically headphones. However, they're just not my favorite to wear. I don't really love it, but you know, it is what it is. These also are not nearly as long as my other cord, which means I have to be careful about not jumping up, which can be difficult for me. Also, when I wear the headphones, my hair doesn't get nearly as messed up, so that's unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. Volume is always a little weird for me, trying to make sure it's the right deal since it's not as immersive. It feels a little creepy, and I like that. Sorry, I know I'm 7 seconds in, but... Mmm.
I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect up on the street. Under the sun, the bastard son will pop the clock to feed himself and family. By any means, your enemies, my enemies, we wet them up like a canteen. The yellow tape surrounds the fate, don't have a face, so now you late, open the gates.
I was not expecting that. Also, it's so hard for me to know if it's feeling it. I don't even know how to explain this. I so rarely use these that I don't know if his voice is further back or if it's just because I'm used to like my over the head, which feels like pretty immersive. So I don't know if that's actually in the production or if it's just, you know what? This is so ridiculous, but I genuinely, let me listen to something else really quick. I haven't worn these in so many months that I'm like, is that the production? Hi, Dobby. Yes, meow. Meow, meow. Why are you yelling at me? Why? May I help you? Sir? Is this gonna be a new thing? Why do you have stick tights in your fur? Hold on. Is this gonna be a new thing where you just come in and like yell from the cat door all the way to here and then get head nuzzles? Is that like a new thing? I'm taking that as a yes. Great. Would you like to lay down right there on that blanket? No, don't get on Salem. Leave Salem alone. Dobby. Leave him alone in that chair. He's snoozing. Oh, great. Yes, let's nuzzle the camera. Thank you for that. Sure, everyone was a big fan of that. Also, every time he passes in front of the camera, it like changes the light coloring and everything because it like autofocuses on his like really white fur. And then it always looks funky. It changes me and it makes me look like really oversaturated. I mean, any more than like I already look oversaturated because of the lights. Okay, that's not the point. Was that a growl? There's a delivery person, and I swear the cat just growled. I have never heard him make that sound before. Dobby, you are really giving merit to your little nickname of Prince of Hell. Okay. Love you. Weird. Jack turned your rags into gold. Okay, I think it's my headphones. I do think it is further back, but I think it's just me not being used to that. Okay, let me tell you, I did not expect that. That was like, okay. I am the one, don't weigh a ton, don't need a gun to get respect up on the street. Under the sun, the bastard son, oh, I like that, will pop the Glock to feed himself and family. The way, the cadence, oh my gosh. Got so scared by the delivery. But the crazy part is he goes outside. I just watched him. He ran first back to a bedroom, and then he runs back outside. Why would you go outside when that's where the person... Okay. Who am I to judge what your response is, I guess? Will pop the Glock to feed himself and family. By any means, your enemies, my enemies. We wet them up like a canteen. I like that. I liked this. Yellow tape surrounds the fate. Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The yellow tape surrounds the face, don't have a face, so now you late. Open the gates, great, eliminate like a lemonade. Hey, young boy had to penetrate. Face, young boy done caught a case. Bang, now we're mama living with the pain. Wait, doctor says he's gonna stay. They don't get the system, so he regenerate. Now a nigga harder than the head of the state. Denzel Curry is the new candidate. Ultimate, alternate, you are the opposite. Stop the shit, chop your esophagus. Bitches be bopping and bow down and popping and dropping it in her esophagus. She is so nasty in public, she classy, perhaps she is able to swallow it. Girl, I could make you a star. Then I put her ass on Apollo, bitch. Bitch, I am ultimate, behold my awesomeness. Narcissist, part-time and arsonist. Ripping through cartilage, I am the hardest, bitch. Wrap it up, put in sarcophagus. Dilly departed, it's done when it started. So now that I'm living so harmonious, feeling like Spartacus, Curry the ultimate. I am the best, there's no politics, bitch, I'm ultimate.
Ooh.
Ultimate. Bitch, I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect up on the street. Under the sun, the bastard son will pop the clock to feed himself and family. By any means, your enemies, my enemies, we wet them up like a canteen. The yellow tape surrounds the face, don't have a face, so now you late, open the gates.
Oh my gosh. I will say, and as always, this is just a me thing, not a reflection of the music. It's just me dealing with my own like sensory issues. I am glad I'm listening to this on a day where I'm pretty good, because this could be a little too overstimulating for me if I was already kind of like in that space, but luckily I'm really not, so I really like it. And it's sad too, because I actually like sounds like this. It's just sometimes I can't handle it, which is really unfortunate, because it's not that I dislike it. It has nothing to do with how much I like or dislike something. It's literally just how much I can tolerate of like extra stimulus. So this is a song that I'll not be able to go to all the time, but I still really like it. Also, my gosh, the cadence. Don't have a face, so now you late. Open the gates. God damn. Great, eliminate like illimidate. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's referencing, to be honest. Also, may I just say that because of, Apple Music does their little background colors based on like album colors, so it like matches. That's what I think it is. This one is so cool. It looks like the Northern Lights. Hold on. Here's the thing. I would share my screen all the time. I don't have a problem doing that, but I move around so much. And because I can't see myself when I'm recording, can't like check and make sure that I'm still in frame. It also makes it really hard with editing, because zooming and stuff, because I can't get rid of that box. Can't use all the features that I have in my editing software because of like I can't change where it goes. It's anyways. So that's why I don't usually leave this up, because it's hard for me to remember I'm in frame. Is this not the coolest background though? I'm not kidding. This is like one of my favorites I've ever seen on Apple Music. It literally looks like the Northern Lights. Like, that's sick. So I'm just like loving looking at this, like just watching this. It's just so pretty. Okay. Hey, young boy had to penetrate. Face, young boy done caught a case. Bang. Now his mama living with the pain. Oof. Wait, doctor says he's gonna stay, huh? Let him get the senzu bean so he regenerate. What anime is that from? Senzu bean. Why can't I remember? Senzu. Dragon Ball. Okay. Got it. I was like, I know that sounds like vaguely familiar. I just don't remember what it's from. Oh, so he's an anime fan. I'm assuming. Love. Harder than the head of state. And then Denzel Curry is the new candidate. Love it. Or candidate. I don't know how he said it. I think he said candidate. Ultimate, alternate, you are the opposite. Stop this shit, chop your esophagus. And then that connecting later on to sarcophagus. Loved that. Girl, I can make you a star, then put her ass on Apollo, bitch. Damn. Stop. Behold my awesomeness. I really love that. Ripping through cartilage, I am the hardest bitch. Wrap it up in sarcophagus. And then having that dearly departed. Stop. I love it. It's done when it started. So now that I'm living so harmonious, feeling like Spartacus, I really like all these connections. And then the, there was one more I really liked. Where was it? Oh yeah, the feeling like Spartacus, create the ultimate. I am the best, there's no politics. And then having the head of state and the candidate, I really liked that. And then also I should have said this earlier, but I do really like the will pop the Glock to feed himself and family. It's like doing these things because of trying to work against the system that's oppressing you and to provide for yourself and your family.
Don't have a face, so now you like open the gates. Ultimate infinite, flow is opium, open the internet. Photosynthesis, put up parenthesis. Temporary, very scary. If I feel like dirty Harry, just my buzz a bitch. Never knew my life, but yet the question is he fake, is he real, what the message is? Chop a bitch nigga up, I'ma sever it. When I sever shit, I kill him, no Coney, these niggas ain't homies. Claim you the homie, I turn into Broly. Dropping melodic into the cosmic flow like a prophet, lyrical toxic. Flow like a foreigner, I'm the torturer out of South Florida. Color coroner, killed in the corridor. I'm the overlord, rhymes like a sorcerer. I'm an animal, bitch, I'm a beast. Nigga, you tell me who fucking with me. K to the I to the N to the G. Claim you the hottest, but I disagree. Better love something than get a degree. This was our infamous, so R.I.P. All reproduction bitches looking thirsty, riding through the dirty like it's mandatory. In the other story, I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect up on the street. Under the sun, the bastard son will pop the clock to feed himself and family. By any means, your enemies, my enemies, we wet them up like a canteen. The yellow tape surrounds the fate, don't have a face, so now you like open the gates.
Oh, damn. It just kept going. And I was like, oh shit, oh shit. There was like so many lines that I was like, oh, no, where do I even begin? Where do I even begin? Okay, damn, some of those lines are insane. And I know they connect further up, but I'm like, I can't even remember at this point because it was just like, I love the infinite flow is opium. Open the internet, photosynthesis. I'm trying to understand the plant thing. I feel like there's been so many like connections and stuff. I'm trying to figure out photosynthesis. Open the internet. I mean, I can think of it as like a photo with like the internet and stuff, but like with photosynthesis with the plants. Is it because of opium? What is opium? Shit, what is opium? Poppies, right? Yeah, poppy plant. I don't get how that would connect with the... Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Put in parenthesis, instead of parenthesis, I think is how you said it. Parenthesis, temporary. I love that it has very scary and it does kind of have that like, there was a mixture of like that dun, it felt kind of, like I said, kind of like a spooky, creepy way, which I love. But then there was also some of this kind of sci-fi kind of, there was a little bit of that, which I really like that later on, that kind of gets brought in. I mean, obviously we already had the star making her star and the, you know, sending the ass to Apollo, or sending ass Apollo, whatever, which obviously like, yes, Apollo, like space mission to the moon, yes. But then also it's like god of, oh, well, and god of sun, that was earlier. And then you had photosynthesis. That's cool. And where I was actually going with that was not only god of sun, but also music. Because Apollo is god of music too. Interesting. But anyways, it gets brought up later on. Cosmic, that's what I was thinking of. Oh my god, aircrafts, you're killing me. But yet, I like this, but yet the question is he fake, is he real? What the message is, chop a bitch up. I'ma serve it when I sever shit. It's like, that's not the question you should be asking. The question you should be asking is if I'm going to actually kill you. Mood. Drop in melodic, enter the cosmic. And then this whole next thing, flow like a prophet, lyrical toxic, and then thinking about opium. Also, because he's healing and prophecy, and then I think his son was like medicine? I think, don't quote me. So that's really cool. I'm sure there's more if I looked through this too. And obviously there was the Spartacus thing. Flow like a foreigner, I am the torturer. Just the way this is so kind of like haunty creepy. Out of South Florida, oh, okay, so that's where he's from. Call the coroner, which I also love too with the whole yellow tape fate thing. Killed in the corridor, I am the overlord. So we went from being like head of state candidate to now overlord. but this one rhymes like a sorcerer. I am an anamorph. Bitch, I'm a beast. I about lost it with that one. That's I love that. I am an anamorph, bitch, I'm a beast is just an iconic line. You tell me who fucking with me, and then thinking about like all the, you know, it's touched on that throughout, you know, who's fake, who's phony, who's as real as I am, who is the best. Oh my God, wait, wasn't that a line earlier? I didn't even comment on it and I'm so mad I didn't. Hold on. Wait, yes, oh my God, I totally went past this and I didn't mean to. The narcissist part-time arsonist flame? Hell yeah. I just love it too, because it's like, I'm gonna burn it down. There's so many ways you could take that, like I'm the hottest. There's so many ways. Also, again, this may not necessarily have been what he meant, but also just Apollo being the god of the sun also still feels a little connected to. I'm the head of state, I'm the best candidate here. I'm everything. I'm the most, I mean, there were so many things throughout this that was like, you know, I'm a prophet, I'm a torturer, I'm the overlord, I'm a beast. And then he's like, but also I'm the king. I just think that's iconic. He's like, how many ways can I tell you that I am in fact the best? I am top, peak, pinnacle. It doesn't matter which way you want to cut it, I'm that. Which also, again, feeds into the also, you know, maybe a little bit of a narcissist. And also the claim you the hottest, but I disagree. And then the flame thing from earlier. Better learn something and get a degree. This is for Lord Infamous, so R.I.P. So I'm assuming that's a rapper or something like that. That feels vaguely familiar, but I don't know why. I talked about this before. There are just words I like, you know? And this is like hitting on some words that I just really like. Arrivederci, bitches looking thirsty. Stop. I just really like this. Riding through the dirty like it's mandatory. Ending of the story. I am the one, and now it's ending where we started. Again, how many times can he say, I am top, you know, I'm the top, I'm number one. Also oh my God, I forgot about that. The under the sun, and then the Apollo connection too. Your enemy is my, oh yeah, I liked this too. By any means, your enemy is my enemies. It feels very loyal, but it feels very like, I'm ride or die. We wet them up like canteen. Was the beginning, was it we or was it I? No, he did say we. Okay, I was thinking he had changed it to we. And then to end it with, don't have a face, so now you late, open the gates. Which feels like, you know, did you just like shoot the person in the face and now they're at the gates? Gates of hell, gates of heaven. I like it. That was really good. Oh, and we get to listen to it again because we have the music video. I forgot about that. And screwed up. Oh, not me hitting the desk.
I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect up on the street. Under the sun, the bastard son will pop the clock to feed himself and family. By any means, your enemies, my enemies, we wet them up like a canteen. The yellow tape surrounds the face, don't have a face, so now you like open the gate. Right, eliminate like a lemonade. Hey, young boy had to penetrate. Face, young boy done caught a case. Bang, now we're mama living with the pain. Wait, doctor says he's gonna stay. Let him get the system beat so he regenerate. Now a nigga harder than the head of the state. Denzel Curry is the new candidate. Ultimate alternate, you are the opposite. Stop the shit, chop your esophagus. Bitches be bopping and bow down and popping and dropping it in her esophagus. She is so nasty in public, she classy. Perhaps she gets able to swallow it. Girl, I can make you a star.
I love that shot. Girl, I can make you a star. This is shot so cool, but also, I forgot to even comment on this, I think. So just in case I didn't say this, I love those kind of backups, the esophagus. It just adds this, like, again, it kind of adds to the haunting nature, but like in such a cool way. I don't know, I really like it.
Put her ass on Apollo, bitch. Bitch, I am ultimate. Behold my awesomeness. Narcissist, part-time and arsonist. Flipping new cartilage. I am the hardest, bitch. Wrap it up, put in sarcophagus. Dilly departed, it's done when it started. So now that I'm living so harmonious. Feeling like Spartacus, Curry the ultimate. I am the best, it's no politics, bitch. I'm ultimate.
This is sick.
Ultimate. Bitch, I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun to get respect.
gotta take a quick phone call. Just a quick little phone call. That's hilarious.
I am the juice from the Mafia 6. I will pimp slap a bitch cause I don't give a damn. I am the nigga that drink the hot liquor. I smoke like a hippie and I pop them Zans. I am the nigga that showed you the game, how to stick to the money and get you some dough. Ain't no excuses, you grind it, you get it, you whip it and flip it and stun on these hoes. I need a moment of silence today. I hit the club, I pulled up in a raid. So hypnotizing these hoes, mesmerized by my diamonds. I shine and they try to throw shade. I want that throw, but I'm too proud to beg. Bitch, skip the talking, I throw a little bread. She the fuck? Ultimate infinite, so it's open, you open the internet.
The fuck? I loved the added with the screen break with those little pieces flying off. That was super cool. I really liked the line of the something about like diamonds and the shade thing. Hold on, I need to look up lyrics for that verse. Okay, I am the juice from Mafia 6. I smoke like a hippie that showed you the game, how to stick to the money and get you some dough. I need a moment of silence today. I killed the club, I pulled up in a Wraith. Ooh, I love that. And I mean, like, I know the Wraith is a car, but like I do like that in the idea of like an actual, like, as like mythology, folklore, you know, that is cool too, especially with like the visuals that we've got. So hypnotizing these hoes so hypnotizing these hoes mesmerized by my diamonds. I shine and they try to throw shade. I loved that. I like the little bread because of the dough earlier. I didn't see that line. I got so much sauce dripping on me. I think I'm about to change my name to Thousand Island. Stop. I did not even hear that. Bitch, I'm about to out of Coachella. Now she texted me a motherfucking 4-page letter. Stop. Okay.
Too proud to beg. Bitch, skip the talking, I throw a little bread. She the fuck?
I love that.
Ultimate infinite, so it's open, you open the internet. Photosynthesis, put in a parenthesis. Temporary, very scary. If I feel like dirty Harry, just my bust a bitch. Never knew my life, but yet the question is it fake, is it real, what the message is? Chop a bitch nigga up, I'ma sever it. When I sever shit, I kill him, no Coney, these niggas ain't homies. Claim you the homie, I turn into Broly. Dropping melodic into the cosmic, flow like a prophet, lyrical toxic. Flow like a foreigner, I'm the torturer out of South Florida. Color coroner, killed in the corridor. I'm the overlord, rhymes like a sorcerer. I'm an animal, bitch, I'm a beast. Nigga, you tell me who fucking with me. K to the I to the N to the G. Claim you the hottest, but I disagree. Better love something than get a degree. This will learn infamous, so R.I.P. All Reaper dirty bitches looking thirsty, riding through the dirty like it's mandatory. Ending of the story, I'm ultimate.
Hey, Debbie. That was so cool. Just from the visual alone. I mean, the visual matches the like energy of the song, obviously, but it also just like screams someone who like likes anime. And I say that with love. Like I say that with complete love. I say that with someone who also loves it. So that is not a judgment. Okay, what's our next song? Black Balloons. And hold on. Someone said, one of the Salem Coven members had said that the album was taboo, but then when I like actually pulled it up on Apple Music, it's like TA1300. So like the 13 is the B, and I freaking love that. In case you didn't know, 13 has always been my favorite number since I was little. I'm born on the 13th. I love Friday the 13th. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that is like, I love when people do that with their titles of like titles of songs, titles of albums, all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. Okay, Black Balloons. Oh, that is a very different sound, and I need to turn my headphones up. That other one was just so intense that I had turned my volume down a bit. My decibels ended up at 13. Of course it did.
This paper plane, no.
I'm sorry. You don't get to say balloons and let it float? Are we connecting this to it? What the Is he into, like, spooky, like, horror, scary? Because especially, like, I mean, just given the last track, and if this really is connected to it, oh, I love that. Also, I mean, the front cover, I don't know, there may be different, I'm sure there's more meaning to it, but, I mean, usually the clown paint is white, and he does have on, like, it's smeared, but it looks like he's got that white kind of like, like that type of makeup. So maybe there obviously was probably deeper meanings than just that, but I do wonder if that's partially one of the reasons. Inside this paper, okay, wait, hold on. It's been a while since I've seen that. I remember the boat. Not there being something in my eye. Oh my god. What I was saying was, now in this eye too. Jesus. I know that there was the little let it float. There was the boat. Was there an airplane at any point? Because inside this paper plane.
Inside this paper plane note, my words are Navy SEAL, so here and I quote. Taboo and I are in the same boat. Was said from Pennywise, I guess we all float. Sky is the limit, I could die in a minute. Got my mind in a skillet, suicide, not a mission. See the vibe, very timid, I'm timid and very sad. Translating my thoughts and feelings, I pivoted to the pad. Rapists turn to landscapers when they use hoes. Hoes turn to housewives when they see gold. Ice Cube with activator when I'm aggravated or decapitated when I lose my head since life is overrated. 2,000 feet, 1,000 steps. I let it all sink to 1,000 depths. Soon black balloons pop. Let it be the day the pain stop.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so yes, Pennywise. Note my words are Navy sealed. So I hear and I quote, like a boat is floating, but also the balloons that can float, but then Navy sealed, you seal it up. Oh, and I quote, Taboo and I are in the same boat. What's said from Pennywise, I guess we all float. Sky is the limit, I could die in a minute. Yeah, like floating up, sky is the limit, but I could die in a minute. So, feeling that kind of like, you might as well like shoot, aim for the stars kind of thing. But then got my mind in a skillet. Suicide, not a mission. Ooh. So maybe it's also, I mean, in it, like, he's torturing with these fears, like you're being haunted and consumed by these fears. And obviously, like, he has the balloons, he has the red balloons, and mind in a skillet. I mean, it does kind of feel like almost like that being plagued by things. But suicide, not a mission. So maybe the balloons above his head being not red, being the black balloons is also maybe a play on the whole like rain cloud over your head, depression and struggling with your mental health and struggling with the lows. See the vibe, very timid. I'm timid and very sad. So it's like this is yeah. So I think that is kind of what it's meaning too. Translated my thoughts and feelings, I pivot into the pad, which I like too because it's like pivot into like home, but also like maybe like a pad of paper. But this line, papers, I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube, so I'm just turn to landscapers when they use hose. I mean, we don't really need to call them hoes. I mean, they're victims, but okay. Hoes turn to housewives when they see gold. Ice Cube, okay, so we're referencing Ice Cube since it's capitalized. With activator when I'm aggravated. I don't really get that reference. If someone could help me there, that'd be great. Or decapitated when I lose my head since life is overrated. It feels like we're saying like mentally, but also like maybe ideation type of thing with struggling with that, the suicide's not the mission. 2,000 feet, 1,000 steps, I let it all sink to 1,000 depths. Yeah, like it sounds like highs and lows mentally, but also the balloons floating and all of that. Soon black balloons pop. So is he also saying like those balloons will pop and he'll fall too? Maybe? That'll be the day the pain stops. Hot pink red Valentine. Let it float, let it float. I like that, let it float by me. I don't know if I take that more as like, may I either find some peace mentally while still living, or may it just end, is kind of like, my God, the wind is blowing hard. Jeez. Sorry. I mean, like, the whole house is like, this is definitely very, very different. It came out in 2018, so about 3 years later. Okay. You can definitely tell his vocal even sounds. I mean, it may just be him playing with like different voices, but this sounds like his voice has definitely matured. But even the sound of this, I mean, this seems very, I mean, obviously very lyrically heavy and deep, but also very like vulnerable to be sharing that, you know what I mean? Which is very different than the vibe that I got from Ultimate. Ultimate kind of felt like, like the mask you wear to like, hype yourself up and be like, no, I'm the best, when you may clearly be struggling with stuff. I'm assuming he may have had something happen that has changed his mental health, but if it's something that he's always struggled with, I could see Ultimate almost being like this, taking on this persona of like, no, I'm the best, and like, fake it till you make it. Hype yourself up even when maybe your lows are really low kind of thing. But I can see the, let it float by me. And the balloons popping, I mean, I think you can think of it as two ways. I mean, you can look at it as like a fall, a crash, an ending, but I think you can also look at it as like, you kind of think about it more in like the rain cloud imagery of like, those are your problems type of things. Those are the things plaguing you. May those pop so that's not hovering above you. If that is almost like a representation of your struggles and your burdens, may those things pop so you can be free of them. So let it pass by you kind of thing. I could see it both ways. And I don't know if that's just my interpretation or if it's meant to be both ways. I could see that being the case. Also, I know this does have two features. I don't know how you say this. Is it 12 lin? 12 lin and gold link? I think most of the vocal I've heard, what I'm assuming that was him. Actually, now that I say that, hold on, let me see. The beginning was him and 12 lin. That verse 1 was his. Okay. Now this verse 2 that's coming up is gold link. Okay.
Right. Heaven or hell, which one prevails, We gotta go and figure it out. I tried to tell you that this life isn't it, and I just wanna be the rightest I can be. Show my son the thing so he can fly as I can be. Always show examples how they kill niggas like me. Thinking as straight as me, but gon' me crazy. Silence my attitude so I'm cool like Jay-Z. Underplay my intelligence for tweets. Cancel me like I ain't the king of DC. Cancel me like I ain't the number 1 G. Cancel me like you don't like dance on me. Quickly they forget how you change on all these lights. You flash on all these lights and you saving these kids' life, and they hate you cause you're right. Give me hell, then she take it, turn the fire in a pitchfork, bitch.
Oh, I liked that. Also, wait, I do think it could be both, because I've kind of forgot about this until he said it in his verse about kind of talking about like the high thing. Because at the beginning in that first verse, it was sky is the limit. I do think you could think about it in the more like positive, like I'm gonna like, float above it type of thing, like versus the like falling type of thing. I think it can be both. Heaven or hell, which one prevails, huh? Which also that duality kind of speaks to the duality that I was kind of talking about too. We gotta go and figure it out, which I do also think alludes to kind of the, you're never gonna know like heaven or hell, which one's, unless you're like living, like unless that kind of, it kind of gives me that energy, it's like, I ain't trying to tell you that this life isn't it. Yeah, I think it is kind of playing with that both thing. It's like, it's gonna be hard, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't, try and be here, And I just wanna be the rightest I can be. It's like, I wanna be right as in correct, but also right as in like, with the whole heaven or hell thing. Show my son to think so he can fly as high as can be. Yeah, like, reach for the stars kind of thing. Always show examples how they kill. Yeah, it's like, I'm also gonna show you the realities of the world. Like, I'm not going to shelter you to where you don't, you just wake up and your whole world collapses because you aren't aware of the things that go on and aware of the world that is against him and his son and how the system is oppressing and how there is violence, against him. Thinking as straight as me, but they call me crazy. Sun is my attitude, so I'm cool like Jay-Z. Oh, I like that. I liked the andale, my intelligence for threes. Okay, like I get it, like hurry, hurry. Why threes? I feel like I should be getting that, but I'm not. Can y'all help me with that one? Cancel me like I ain't the king of DC. Cancel me like I ain't the #1 G. Cancel me like you don't like dance on me. I'm assuming that's one of his songs since it's capitalized. Quickly they forget how you changed all these lies. I thought I said lives. Is it lies? Okay, I looked up the lyrics off of Apple Music and it does say lies. Okay, so at first I thought he was saying like how quickly they forget who you are, how quickly they like change the perception of you based on lies. But I don't know that that really makes sense with the way the lyrics are wrote. Thoughts? You flashing all these lights and you saving these kids' lives. Shining a light, like being a beacon of hope kind of thing, which fits in well with the song. And they hate you because you were right, which again, he said earlier, and I just want to be the rightest I can be. And so then he says, I love that. Gimme hell then, shit. Take your turn to the fire and a pitchfork, bitch. I love that, where it's like, fine then. To me, I take that as like, if you think I'm the wrong one in the situation, fine, you take a stab at it, but I'm still gonna be right. If you think I'm hell in this scenario, aka I'm like, the bad, the wrong, whatever, then I'm gonna choose that because I don't think I'm wrong. Essentially saying like, I'm not gonna change the way I operate because you think it's wrong, even though it seems like at a certain point you thought I was great and you saw that I've saved people's lives, like these kids' lives. Why don't you be the one in front of the, townsfolk with their pitchforks trying to, set fire?
You can turn the fire in a pitchfork, bitch.
I like the way that sounds too. There is something about that sounds like something. Is this sampling anything? Because it sounds like, hold on, I'm gonna look at the sample. Does it sample anything? Because it reminds me of something. Dun, dun. Maybe I've heard something that samples it. I don't know, there's something, I swear it reminds me of, is it a Kendrick thing I'm thinking of, or is it one or the other? Oh, that's gonna drive me nuts. I thought about it earlier and I was like, but the more and more I hear it, I'm like, it reminds me of something. Did I turn the camera? I was trying to plug it in. I may have made that crooked, sorry. Hi, hello, editing me. So here's the deal. In a minute, you're gonna see me realize that my mic is muted. And then I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, how long was it muted? I'm going to end the video and go check the footage. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna let you know that, oh my gosh, I was upset because I had just gone on this whole long spiel and it didn't capture the remarks I had and all this stuff. And then I'm gonna be like, well, I guess I'm glad I caught it now and not while in editing. And oh, you sweet summer child who made another mistake. It's just mistake after mistake. And that mistake, my friends, is that, you know what? Listen, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what happened because I swear I checked the footage back far enough and then color me surprised when I got to editing this. And past me really had to jinx present me because lo and behold, I was actually muted. My commentary on Black Balloons, as well as that next song where I discovered it, the beginning section as well. So here I am, gonna try to remember exactly what I said. I'm really sorry for this. It makes me so upset because I feel bad because I feel like I've not done the best reaction I can give to you guys. I get really frustrated because I know these mistakes happen and I know why they happen. In me trying to weigh the pro cons in the moment of trying to give you guys the best videos I can, sometimes I just make the wrong choice. And sometimes hearing the background noise or whatever and me having to try to edit that out during editing is better than muting and forgetting. But Anyways, I get really frustrated because I feel like I disappoint, and I'm sorry. I'm trying to be better about it. I'll try to just be more cautious about that in the future. I think here I was mostly just talking about how there's something about that part of the song that sounds vaguely familiar. It kept reminding me of something and I couldn't figure out what it was. That's basically all I was talking about here. And then here, I essentially had just said, regardless if I could remember what it was reminding me of or not, I really enjoyed the song.
Tonight on 102.1, it's Denny Cascade and the gang. And
Denzel, are you really making an argument? I'm telling you, eventually they're gonna catch up to your game. We're running out of time. What exactly are you trying to hide, Mr. Curry?
And then here, I essentially had just said, I really enjoyed the song. Obviously, I hate to hear anybody going through something like that, but I really appreciated the song and thought it was great.
Is a gateway to a new day and the same hate with a new height and the same feet on an airplane yelling Mayday with a good girl going bad girl who went gay cause of date rape. That's a metaphor for the US cause they got us all in the same state of mind. Brain is minimized, put me on the news, only criticized. Revolution will never be televised for the enemy that never empathize. And I never voted, never sugarcoated with my finger itching and my gun loaded. When the fire open, let it be a moment when I shoot the sheriff if he not demoted. Then bang! This for Trayvon and Tree, burn the bush and chronic. Speaking honestly, we living in colonies, seeing innocent comedies. Monstrosity run rampant all throughout United States. Talking about let's make it forward, talking about let's make it great. If the shoes fit tight, grab the guns and riot. Time to run with lions on the road to Zion in this age of violence. Time to grab the iron when I pop the silencer. It's nothing but silence when babe, when you hear the siren sounds.
I love their voices together. The opening, I think, is beautiful. I just really love the way it sounds, but then just the idea of setting it up as when the karma comes back around, don't let me down. You know, there's a time to stand your ground, even if one of them sounds, don't let me down. Even if those sirens come, are you going to stand by me? Are you going to, and by me, I mean that obviously in the bigger way of me. It doesn't just necessarily mean him. It's the broader meaning of the song, right? Are you going to stand up in the face of injustice? Are you going to stand up even when it's hard, when you're scared, or even when you may be pulled into something like those sirens? You know, I just think it opens it up not only so beautifully, but also just it really sets you up for what's to come.
I thought you would stay, whether I win or I lose. They already think we dead, but they continue to shoot. I'm just gonna cover my head. I need to duck and I move. I bust a move when I
find a way to get on and get up and get out the crib. I was just looking into the mirror, trying to dislocate my fear. Cause you broke my heart, let me dry my tears. So serious, I'm so neglected in the wrong direction with a long erection. Got no protection, but it's fucked the world when she bend it over, being oversensitive. But did I mention that my real intentions are we leave me dealing with the consequences? And I see your tone is very condescending when I talk to you, but no, you won't admit it. And I pity the fool, been trying to vent, but you ain't trying to hear it. Like I'm not in here, but you gotta hear it. Just stop rushing me off to the side. Wow, shit. Oh, say, can you see 100 dead bodies in the street? Body duns early like double Sprite in a RPT. So proudly, lights gleam at the gun blow in the nighttime of the slum house. Little drum bone with the 1000. Come, hit it, come.
Eyesight is a gateway to a new day and the same hate. Oh, and I love the cadence that he says it. With a new height and the same feet on an airplane screaming Mayday. And, it's that perspective. It sets it up so well because it not only evokes the image, but it also highlights it's a perpetuating cycle. And whether you want to take that as a new height because it's getting worse, whether you want to take that as a new height because you are growing and getting taller. So this is something that has been around. You know what I mean? Or you want to talk about it as the idea of it being on a plane. All those layers just really solidify the fact that we are talking about something that has continuously happened, and it's a perspective that he's trying to give you, that gateway into this insight. And if you're only willing to look. This next line, with a good girl gone bad who went gay because of date rape. Now, one thing I want to say is that I really appreciate that he did not leave that open to interpretation, that the next line is, that's a metaphor for the US because they got us all in the same state. I really appreciate that because I get the line. I just don't love it just because I think there's enough harmful rhetoric around the idea that there is a choice in sexuality versus it being inherent, being something that you're born with, and again, I don't think that he meant it in any harmful way. I get the poetic license. It doesn't change the fact that I enjoy the song. It's hard for me personally to separate that just because I know the harmful rhetoric that can come from that. You know what I mean? But while I don't love it, the line does what I think he wanted it to do, and you can't deny that aspect, I guess is the best way to say it. It evokes, you're blaming victims. When you say a good girl's gone bad and you point to the cause of that being something that was not her fault, she was a victim. It's victim blaming. It does exactly what this verse is going to continue to expand on as being that metaphor for the US and oppressing people of color, especially Black Americans. State of mind, brain is minimized, put me on the news, only criticize. Revolution will never be televised for the enemy, they never empathize. And this verse continues to solidify this, but especially right there, I think it really highlights when the system causes harm, enacts violence on the people, and the people raise the concerns. They speak it. They try to be heard. And all these, quote, I say that with sarcasm, the quote, civil way they act like they want people to behave. And those means are tried over and over again. And then change is not enacted. And that violence against the people is continued without any change. When the people then rise up and have to escalate things because there has been no change, the system, the government, then comes back and criticizes and spreads that harmful rhetoric of we shouldn't be doing violence, you're causing harm, without acknowledging the fact that you, the system, the government, are the ones who started the harm first, who started the violence first. They never take accountability or own their own responsibilities in what led to that violence. And I think that's what's so harmful a lot of the times when violence starts happening, because the people are upset, and rightfully so, and you're not being taken serious, and you eventually get pushed to the breaking point because you're cornered, and the only thing you can do to be heard at that point is to escalate it. And then you punish and criticize people who did that. The majority of the time, that was not people's first step. There's this storyline, well, if only they would have done it the right way. If only they hadn't come to it with, and this is for every time, whether it be for race, religion, sexuality, gender, sex, class, whatever the group is that is being oppressed, being targeted, being harmed by the system, the same course of action continuously happens. That is the cycle. They act like they've done nothing wrong. And then when it escalates, The blame is placed on the people who are oppressed and being harmed in the situation. And they don't like to acknowledge that they are the ones who started it and that there were peaceful means that tried to happen prior to the escalation. We see this every day. It's only gotten worse recently when we think about ICE, when we think about what's happening with burning warehouses. A lot of people come out of that and act like property damage. While there can be damage to a corporation or something like that, when people are not being paid enough to live and the government is also constantly gutting social safety nets, and cost of the war that was unjustified is making everything more expensive. The tariffs that should have never been enacted because you don't understand how tariffs work, that's always going to come back to the consumer. And even though the courts ruled that they weren't just, those payouts are going to go to the corporations, and the corporations are not going to lower their prices, and they're also not going to give you, the customer, a refund. They're just going to pocket that. Not only did they not lose anything, but we're going to be doubly punished. I mean, you could go on and on about this for days, about the different scenarios in which this comes up. But when you act like harming a place equates to the harm that's caused to workers who are not paid a livable wage, who are treated unfairly, who are discriminated against, I mean, the list goes on and on. While that being compounded by this other effects of these other choices that the government's made, to equate that to the same as human suffering, that is not the same thing. And while no, of course, I'm not sitting here trying to say that I love violence or that I condone it, but it's more complicated than that. It is not that black and white, because if it was, when the first time people came and said, hey, this hurts us, hey, this needs to change, had there been conversations around that, had there been change enacted, had there been protections in place, had there been change enacted through those peaceful means, the violence wouldn't have occurred. But the blame does not come solely from those who escalated. It comes from the fact that the system itself started that violence and did not listen to those peaceful means. And to ignore that aspect of it is why the cycle continues. And I never voted, never sugarcoat it with my finger itching and my gun loaded. Obviously, please go vote. You know what I mean? But I think this is trying to take accountability in a way. It's not saying you're proud of that. It's saying I'm owning up to it, is how I take that. When the fire open, let that be your moment, which again ties so well into the, if one of them sounds, don't let me down, there's a time to stand your ground. When I shoot the sheriff, if he's not demoted, then bang, bang, bang. And this is for Trayvon, Tree, Burn the Bush, and Chronic speaking honestly. Again, showing it's not saying I'm shooting the sheriff for no reason. It's saying I'm shooting the sheriff if he's not demoted, because there has been violence. And instead of taking accountability and trying to make change, you're covering it up. And so when this violence gets escalated, you cannot sit back and think that there was no reason for this violence when you were the one who started it first by committing the violence, and then by taking no accountability, and then by not enacting any change. We live in colonies, CNN sit comedies. I love that line. First thing it evokes for me is the fact that you say colonies paired with JID's verse, which is to come. That idea of like, this is not a new thing. This has constantly happened. This country was started by immigrants who came over, committed a genocide, and then built the country with slaves. And I'll talk about that more in JD's verse, so I'll keep going. But in CNN sit comedies also to me evokes that you can't even trust the media. Like the media perpetuates it so much. And that has only become more and more true today, especially with you have an administration who puts pressure on these, and you've got billionaires owning it that want favors, and mergers are being held up as ransom essentially to getting what you want, to get the bad press. I mean, it is quite literally authoritarianism 101. It is a concentration of power that we haven't seen. Monstrosities run rampant all through the United States, talking about let's make a fort, talking about let's make it great. And the fact that it happened again, despite what we knew. Further, which part of the history are we trying to glorify? Considering from day one, there has been atrocities that have happened, the oppression that has happened, that continues to happen, the violence that continues to happen. If the shoe fits, tie it, grab the guns and riot. Time to run with the lions to the road to Zion. In the age of violence, time to grab the iron. When I pop the silencer, it's nothing but silence when. And that just ties so well to that you know, the revolution will never be televised. Not to make this about Taylor, she has a song that it's called Cassandra, and it's Cassandra in mythology is, you know, she prophesized what would happen, but she was cursed to never be believed. When the first stone's thrown, they're screaming. In the streets, there's a raging riot. When it's burned the bitch, they're shrieking. But when the truth comes out, it's quiet. It goes on to, you know, say like they knew the whole time, you know, like, so they killed Cassandra first because she feared the worst and tried to tell the town. So they filled my cell with snakes. I regret to say, do you believe me now? I was onto something. They all said nothing. Blood's thick, but nothing like a payroll. But they never spared a prayer for my soul. You can mark my words that I said it first in a morning warning. No one heard. When the truth comes out, it's quiet. And I just bring that around because it's the idea of like when these things happen, when escalations happen, when truth comes out, it's silence. You act like you can take no accountability, and you place the blame on the people who were the original victims. You weren't listening, and then you get upset when that violence occurs. Anyways, all of that to say, I know I just talked a lot, but amazing verse. Back to the video.
Stop rushing me off to the side. Wow, shit. Oh, say, can you see 100 dead bodies in the street? Body duns early like double sprite in a RPT. So proudly, lights gleam at the gun blout when the nighttime of the slum house. Little drum bone with the 1000. Come, hit it, come.
Baby, when you hear the siren sounds, when I come back round, don't let me down. Baby, there's a time to stand your ground, even in front of hell sounds, don't let me down. Birds chirping, dogs barking, kids missing milk, carton sold, dark as black, Marcus wars starting more, Spartans Lord, prophet praise Muhammad, different stroke, Philip drumming, gave me crack like I'm plumbing, Jesus Christ, second coming, cut myself, now I'm numbing, never scared, never running, chosen one, I'm 100, pray for me, pray for London, guilty me, he ain't done it, gun me down, all for nothing, president, in abundance, president, is a puppet, gotta hate it, gotta love it, past the clouds, I rise above it, wisen up, advise the public, pistol bust, screaming fucking Donald Trump, Donald Duck, what the fuck is the difference, now we stuck in the rut, this ain't what I envision, what is guts, when you don't have intuition, not a saint, not a sin, tell me what's my real religion, genocide, genesis, they say it's a new beginning, I'm a sinner, you a sinner, I can see the devil grinning, damn.
Oh no, my mic was muted. I'm gonna cry. I'm like so serious. If I have to I don't know how long it's been muted. Oh my God, I have to go check. Oh my God, no, please. I'm actually begging. I mentally cannot handle having, oh God, of all the times for this to happen, please, please, I'm actually begging. Please let it only be for just like a little bit. Please. I've returned. I was muted. As you probably saw, I'll probably edit something to explain for all of my commentary on JID's verse. So I'm going to redo that now. I mean, I guess it's better that I saw it now and I'm not having to do this in editing, but that's still really frustrating. I took a little bit of a break so I don't have a mental breakdown. That's happened to me multiple times lately, and it's like, I know I need to just not mute, but then it's like I can't win. If I don't mute, it causes issues. If I do mute, it causes issues. It's like, oh my God. Anyways, I've just accepted that I'm not going to be able to do any editing today, and I'm just gonna, because I have a whole other video I gotta film, so I went ahead and ordered some food. It's on its way, and then here we are. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I mean, one, I was just in awe. Like, that verse was insane. This whole song is insane. I'm genuinely unwell. Like, this is such a good song. And I'm just, the Star Spangled Banner aspect mirroring, like, kind of mirroring what was set up in that first verse with the, you know, the good girl gone bad. I think that's kind of a part of that too. Baby, I'm a fool because I thought you would stay. But they continue to shoot. I'm just gonna cover my head. I need to duck and not move, which is like something that's said, obviously, when we're talking about violence against people of color, specifically Black men. Whether I win or I lose, they already think we did. but they continue to shoot. I'm just going to cover my head. I need to duck and not move. And again, that's something that is used against people of color, especially black men. You know, don't move, but yet it doesn't matter. That violence can still happen even when you're following the orders. I bust a move when I find a way to get on and get up, get out the crib. And it's like, okay, yes, crib is your house, but also crib, it does just still evoke that imagery of children who are having to grow up in this, you know? I was just looking into the mirror trying to dislocate my fear. And the fact that dislocate is usually used in the context of like the damage done to body, you know, it's like dislocating something in your body, creates such a visceral reaction to that line. 'Cause you broke my heart, let me dry my tears. Because of course you're not going to dry my tears because you're the one causing the harm. So serious, I'm so neglected. And I feel like that neglect is further insinuated by the next lines of in the wrong direction with a long erection, got no protection. It's like using that sexual aspect to demonstrate the point, like we did in the good girl gone bad line. It's not just no protection, it's violence from those who are supposed to protect, you know? But it's fuck the world when she bend it over being oversensitive. But did I mention my real intentions are really me dealing with the consequences? And I do think this consequences line, I kind of look at it in two different ways, because on one side, because when it says, and I see your tone is very condescending, these phrases feel not only like things that are said to people, especially to people of color, like, you're being aggressive, you're being, you know, all these things. It's also like, well, these are the consequences of your actions. These are the things that are said, the rhetoric that's said, not only during these acts of violence, but also in the justification afterwards. And then on top of that, I also look at it from the same way, talking about it earlier, with like the burning down of it's like when you're the one who caused harm or are perpetuating the same things that are actively oppressing and hurting these communities, and then things escalate, you're blaming them for the consequences of the actions. Yes, of course, people are responsible for their actions to a certain extent, but it's like you cannot just look at this being a consequences of someone's actions and not also acknowledge the system that perpetuates and systematically oppresses and encourages these types of violence. You cannot ignore this and then say this. And then with all of that said, it also is still calling out, that is what happens. Their tone is condescending, you know? So it works in all the different ways, which is what's so brilliant about it. At least like that's how I'm interpreting it. And your tone is very condescending when I talk to you, but no, you won't admit it. You will not admit the harm that you have caused. And I pity the fool, and that connecting to, baby, I'm a fool. So it's pitying that, you know, like I pity the fool, been trying to vent, but you ain't trying to hear it. Again, the peaceful means in which things are told, and then you get mad when you do not listen. And not only do you not listen, but you actively continue to do it. And then when things turn and escalate, you want to be upset about it. You want to lay blame. Like, I'm not in here, but you got to hear it. Just how much you mean off to the side. Oh shit. But then to change the Star-Spangled Banner like this is unbelievable. This is incredible. This whole song is incredible. I'm so glad we were doing this. Oh, say, can you see 100 dead bodies in the street? I have chills just saying it. Bite the dust early like the double Sprite and R.I.P.T. So proudly lights gleam, let the gun blow in the nighttime of the slum house, little drum dump of the 1,000. Come, here they come. Unbelievable. And then I did already listen to this part, so I'm gonna now pick up on this next part that I didn't get to start talking about because of our debacle here with my mic. Oh my God, I just got really scared that I didn't turn it back on and I was gonna cry. At that point, I'm serious, guys. I think I would have had to come back because birds chirping, dogs barking, kids missing milk cartons, soul dark as black markets, war is starting, more is sparking. And that is just even more true today. Historic prophets raised Muhammad, different strokes, Philip Drummond, and then gave me crack like I'm plumbing, Jesus Christ, second coming. Again, you perpetuate it, and then you punish and act like you had no part in that. This cut myself, now I'm numbing, never scared, never running. Chosen one, I'm 100, pray for me, pray for London. Guilty me, he ain't done and gunned me down all for nothing. Just how much that happens. Someone's not even guilty of something. And then fast forward to now, not only do we, obviously still have this violence happening to the Black community, but also just you think about that in the context of like ICE, Precedent in abundance. It's like this has been the history from day one. You built this country through a genocide of the indigenous peoples who were already here. You used slaves to build the country. You used immigrants. You oppressed women. I mean, the list goes on and on. The precedent has always been here. This whole make America great. As if this country was not founded and continued to perpetuate these things. To act like this stuff is so in the past. My God, Brown v. Board of Education, schools were not desegregated. That didn't even start until what, 54? Around 70 to 71 years ago? The children who were a part of that going to school, they are still alive. Like, what do you mean? The precedent is in abundance. It's continued to happen. And then president is a puppet. And the fact that we did it again, those puppet strings just continued to expand and get bigger. Gotta hate it, gotta love it, pass a class, I rise above it. Wise enough, advise the public, pistol bust, screaming fuck it. This line, iconic. Donald Trump, Donald Duck, what the fuck is the difference? Now we stuck in a rut, this ain't what I envisioned. And the fact that we're here again, I say again. What is what? What is guts when you don't have intuition? Not a saint, not a sinner. Tell me what's my real religion? Genocide, Genesis. They say it's the new beginning. That line is made even more poignant by today. And just thinking about the infiltration of how the military is being run right now. The person in charge, I mean, all of them in charge, but saying things, religious fanatics who are openly saying and quoting this idea of trying to set up the circumstances for like Christ's second coming for a new beginning, just openly in charge of the military. Are you kidding? Justifying horrors based on lies. I can't. I'm a sinner, you a sinner. I can see the devil grinning down. And that line for me, I see it so many different ways. It's like you don't see that you're being preyed upon. The people who actually believe in this, not seeing how they're being manipulated by people who it's all about money, has nothing to do with the religion. They're just using that. Taking the words and twisting them. The hypocrisy, acting like I talked about at the beginning of the song, The same Jesus who basically was a socialist, the same one who was like, love all people, flipping over the tables in the institutions, the one that was literally crucified by the institutions, the one who didn't care if someone was a sex worker or a leper, the Jesus that was from the Middle East, the one that if he crossed the borders today, you would have him in ICE custody. I also see it as like, and in that same vein, who do you think's winning there? With the actions that we're doing to other people, to other countries, and in our own homes, on our own streets, that seems pretty in line with the things that you claim would be more of the devil side of things. So yeah, I think he probably would be grinning at that. All of that to say that that's an incredible song. I'm so glad I did it. I'm just in awe. I could talk about that for 2 more hours, but I think I'll spare everyone because geez Louise. Okay, last song is Melt Session 1, which is kind of skip a bit here, and we're gonna go into 2022. Oh, this cover kind of looks like anime. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that feels very ethereal.
Yo,
Take a ride on my train of thought. Fundamentals, what I bought, penny less. I await the emptiness and lighten. 26 years on earth, my soul fighting. Habits that inhabit my body has took a liking to my lifestyle. Battling stress the size of Goliath. Slingshots plus hard rocks, these stones getting thrown. My temptations are amplified when I get alone. Tried to separate the action from the man. I wholeheartedly understand why I need to grow even though I'm grown. If I did you wrong, I vow to make it right. Judge me off appearance, it was said to me I'm impolite. Ice remain in freeze mode, I'm stuck in fight or flight. I'm deflecting my daily problems within my daily life. Recognizing patterns of my own demise. Why I feel like hiding the truth is finding a lie. Dealt with thoughts of suicide, women I've objectified. Couldn't see it through my eyes, so for that I apologize. I'm desensitized, working hard to empathize. Strung out on love addiction and groupies when souls collide. I've been this way since the day I turned 6. I've been touched before, way before I touched my. Now I'm almighty pushing through the pain. The almighty cushions to the flame. The bursts and burning bushes in my brain. I had to make an effort, double overtime to change. Had to journal my journey and mistakes I made on the way. Manipulation to get what I want. Getting very distant after I got what I need. Writing, rapping, wisdom, whiskey, women, wars, and weed. Narrating all these conflicts and top it off with greed. I keep walking, I keep walking, I keep walking. Me and my so-called best friends don't speak often. Blaming me for everything when they pinpoint fingers at themselves. So be grateful I offered the help. Being aware is my definition of milk. My eyes see imperfection.
Oh my god, there's just no good place to stop. I'm just gonna stop there. Oh. 6. Oh my god. Of course my food got delivered right then. I'm sorry. I'm just so focused on like what we learned that it's hard to like be like, oh my gosh, this like was incredible. But there was so many lines throughout this that I was like, oh my gosh. It's just hard to be like, wow, that was so good when you've learned what you've just learned. You know what I mean? Definitely can tell a difference in sound, like the maturity in the voice and all that stuff, but whew, okay. Take a ride on my train of thought. Fundamentals what I bought. Penniless, I await the emptiness, enlightened. Penny for your thoughts, and now you're penniless. I've been enlightened. 26 years on earth, my soul fighting, which also I can understand given Black Balloons. It really does show, and again, I mean, I've heard such a small amount, I don't want to look like I'm just trying to say I know anything about him, you know what I mean? But just from like my limited view, hearing each of these tracks has only kind of added to that feeling I got in that first track. And I don't mean that in a bad way by any means. If that's where you're at and you got to tell yourself that, fake it till you make it, you know? Seeing that maybe kind of mask, kind of like trying to be this, embody this, you know, like I got to be the best me. I'm fighting for my dreams, you know. I'm assuming that's one of his earlier albums. Just the layers that have been peeled back, you know, Black Balloons and seeing his struggle with these ups and downs and all of this and those suicidal thoughts and all that stuff. And then that third track kind of commenting on the world and what it's like to live, you know, live in the body that he lives in, you know, to deal with the system, to live in the world where the world treats you the way that it does to Black men. And then to get this and just to really learn more and those kind of roots. I mean, wow. So my soul fighting, yeah. I mean, your soul is fighting, you know, fighting with those ups and downs, fighting with that trauma, fighting with the system that treats you the way it does, fighting those inner demons that have been created from those traumas, you know? I mean, it's just habits that ain't happening. My body has took a liken to my lifestyle, battling stress this size of Goliath, being like weighed down, your soul's fighting. We're talking about like the ways that you've been trying to cope and deal with all of that. Slingshots plus hard rocks, these stones getting thrown. Judgment. He alluded to that too in that last song about, you know, the way people would criticize and stuff. So I don't know anything about him. I don't know if that's meaning it more generally speaking, like, you know, just being a Black man in America, or if that is meant to be more that plus being more specific, public perception. I don't know if there's been a lot of like backlash for him or something like that. Maybe some of the things that he did when he was younger. I don't know, but I could see that being the case given the things that he's said, you know, these stones getting thrown. My temptations are amplified when I get alone. So again, the ways we're coping. Try to separate the action from the man, where it's like, I may know my own heart and spirit, but it doesn't change the fact that like, I see these actions, whether they be in the past or whether they be present when I'm at my lowest, is how I take that. I wholeheartedly understand why I need to grow even though I'm grown. Showing the enlightened thoughts that he's saying he's penniless, you know, now with these enlightened thoughts. If I did you wrong, I vow to make it right. And taking accountability, again, this is a classic, both things can be true. You can take accountability for the things that you've done and maybe the decisions that you've made, and also have empathy for yourself, and others can have empathy for you for the things that led to those. You know, judge me off appearance. It was said to me I'm impolite. Yeah, so maybe the way he interacted with people, like people got the wrong impression of him. Eyes remain in freeze mode. I'm stuck in fight or flight. Perhaps these are ways that he came across to people in his own protection of himself, or maybe it was that mask that I was kind of saying. I kind of feel like it could have been in Ultimate. I'm deflecting my daily problems within my daily life, recognize hidden patterns of my own demise. This, why I feel like hiding a truth is finding a lie. Damn. Dealt with thoughts of suicide, women I've objectified. Couldn't see it through my eyes, so for that I apologize. I'm just hypnotized, working hard to empathize. Strung out on love addiction and groupies when souls collide. I've been this way since I turned 6. I've been touched before, way before I touched my children. Like, I just... And that just feels extra, like, compounded by everything that's going on with the files and everything. It's just... And just to share that, because you know that's going to help people feel seen and like understood who've been there, you know? Now I'm almighty, pushing through the pain, the almighty cushion to the flame. I think of that as like, okay, I want to preface this by saying like, I'm not trying to make this connection, and I don't want it to come off as insensitive given the lines that we just heard. That's not my intention at all. It's just the fact that like, it seems like he might be into anime. I love that line, because not only do I feel like it kind of alludes to the religious imagery of like the Almighty, the David and Goliath that we've already, you know, brought in at the beginning, but also it just, I don't know, I see Almighty and it makes me think of All Might. You get the impression that he likes anime. MHA, or My Hero Academia, is, you know, a very well-known popular anime. Maybe that's a stretch, maybe that has nothing to do with it, maybe it is more the religious imagery, David and Goliath, and that's fine, but I just figured I would mention it because if there's any chance that that could be also that kind of connection, that would be kind of cool too. I guess that could also be that might not if I think older, because he said he had the Goku stuff, so I know he's been watching anime for a long time. That also could be a, isn't that a Naruto thing? It's been a long time since I've seen that. Yeah, and that's, I feel like that might be more likely, because it's actually, I thought it was just, I didn't know it was Almighty Push. I forgot it was Almighty Push, and it is. So that's actually probably more likely. Well, I don't feel as bad now for even making the connection to an anime, even though it was the wrong one at first. Just because, like, I didn't want that to come off as insensitive by any means. The birds and the burning bushes in my brain. I had to make... Wait, have I gone past that? I clicked above, so I don't really know. No, I did. I had to make an effort, double overtime to change. Had to journal my journey and mistakes I made on the way. Manipulation to get what I want, getting very distant after I got what I need. Again, like I said a minute ago, like, it's taking ownership of the things that you've done, your coping mechanisms and all that stuff, but still acknowledging where those traumas come from and where they're rooted in, and having empathy for oneself, and in the process probably helping a lot of people too, you know? Writing rap and wisdom, whiskey, women, wars, and weed. Yeah, those juxtaposition. Narrating all these conflicts. Love that. Then to top it off with greed. I keep walking, I keep walking, I keep walking. It's like I keep trying to go. Me and my so-called best friends don't speak often, blaming me for everything when they can't point fingers at themselves, so be grateful I offered the help. Again, multiple things can be true. And I think that's about where I stopped. It may have been the next line, but I think I'll just start from there.
Blaming me for everything when they can't point fingers at themselves, so be grateful I offered the help. Being aware is my definition of melt. My eyes see imperfections within myself. Cracked images, bad luck, and broken mirrors. Funny how I see impermanence so clearer. I dedicate this to the ones I hurt. It's time to get my spirit right on earth before my sins become an evil curse. Conquer thirst, can't revert to who I was at first. I channel God through this verse. Accountability, I take responsibility for all my actions. I pack them in these soliloquies. Just because we're not friends don't mean we're enemies. Thank you all for listening, sending y'all with good energy.
Listen to the outro. I think it's just an instrumental because I don't see any lyrics, but let's talk about the lyrics for that part. Gut-wrenching, but what a beautiful song. I mean, it's so good because it's so, you feel like he's not, I don't know, even just like the way he delivers that perfect balance between like self-acceptance and acknowledgement of traumas and all that stuff, and having grace with himself, but also still taking accountability without it being, it feels like he's just trying to say what he needs to say and do the work that he wants to do, show the progress that he's made so far. Again, with giving himself some grace and not being too hard on himself and acknowledging the things that he did, but also showing the things that others did, you know? It's just, it feels very real. You just kind of feel like this is, you're on a really good healing journey. And it's like, from a listener perspective, like I just want that for him, you know? So being aware is my definition of melt. And this is his melt session 1. So becoming aware of all these things is his, you know, so I keep walking, keep going down the journey, going down the path of healing, becoming more aware. I don't even know what it is, but that chorus, is that a chorus or outro? I guess that would be like the outro where it repeats that, like I keep walking, melt. So it's like I keep going down the path of healing and then I become aware, melt. And then I keep walking, wow. My eyes see imperfections within myself. And then that tying back into earlier where we had the eyes remain in freeze mode and now we're melting. Oh, I didn't even see that. What I was going to was the couldn't see it through my eyes, so for that I apologize, like the things that he had done, but I didn't even think about that other line. And now he's saying my eyes see imperfections within myself. Cracked images, bad luck, and broken mirrors. Funny how I see impermanent so clearer. He's seeing the things that are becoming more clear as he is becoming more aware and isn't ignoring the things, the traumas, the things that he has done, the wrongs that he's done himself, that kind of thing. I dedicate this to the ones I hurt. It's time to get my spirit right on earth before my sins become an evil curse. Conquer thirst, can't revert to who I was at first. I channel God through this verse. This is beautiful. Accountability, I take responsibility. And then this, for all my actions, I pack them in these soliloquies. Jesus. Just because we're not friends don't mean we're enemies. Thank you all for listening, sending y'all with good energy. Melt. Oh. God, you feel like you're walking down a road. I didn't realize it changed. Well, final thoughts. That was so good. That journey, I feel like I learned so much. I feel like this particular installment in the Introduction to series is one that, I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like if I'm thinking about the ones that I've done so far, I think this is definitely the most I've learned about someone in such a small amount of tracks. And that's just a testament to his artistry. Obviously, I understand that this did happen over time. Obviously, I'm just getting a highlight reel, but still, I mean, just the fact that these are available, you know, and does show such a journey. And it sounds like he's gone on such a journey, and also to have a song like that at 26. I mean, there are people who are decades older who do not come to the realizations that he has. I mean, it's gut-wrenching, but that's beautiful and really impressive. It takes work to work on yourself, and it is not an easy thing to take accountability, especially when sometimes I feel like it can be even harder sometimes to take accountability when there is you know, reasons for the way that people, it's not just because you're an awful person, you know, it's like you've survived so much and you've chosen life. I would assume from what I've seen over and over again. And that's a strength and a resilience that like is really hard to fully grasp. As a listener, I just appreciate his vulnerability, and I can only imagine that this probably helped a lot of people feel seen, people who resonate with the, you know, the same experiences. It's one thing to heal in private, but to heal publicly and to take accountability publicly, that's a whole other level. To let those things out in the world, I don't know, to me, I feel like you feel the authenticity in that, the desire to just, like he said, make things right for the things that he's done, but also to give himself the grace and the opportunity to heal, you know, hopefully to continue to not only just survive, but to thrive in life. As a listener, all I hope for him, you know? I think he's incredible. I mean, not just the messages, like the productions. Like I said, the first one was a little bit, you know, it's a little harder for me from like a sensory perspective, but it was still great. Those were really good picks too. I mean, you guys always, the Salem Coven members help me pick the recommendations. You guys always do an incredible job at that, but it just, I feel like every time I'm just more and more just continuously blown away by the ones y'all choose. Cause it's like, I put myself in that situation. If I was to do that for like Taylor, I don't even know how I would do that. Genuinely, like I actually find that to be very, very hard, and I feel like you guys just like never miss, and that's wild. I don't know if it's just, I mean, it's probably a combination, but I don't know if it's just the ones that are the most popular or the ones that you think are the best, or I don't know if you're also taking into considerations ones you think I would like, but whatever combination you guys do, like I genuinely really appreciate it, because I put myself, like I said, in you guys' shoes, and I think it would be really hard for me to do that. And so I'm just like really impressed by that. So thank you for that. I love these videos. I do think the Introduction to series is, I really enjoy them. And I think it gives us, you know, gives me just a little highlight reel, and it gets me excited for exploring more of an artist's work in the future, which is always really cool too. I love our artist deep dives, but I'm glad that we have this series and that you guys, you know, kind of guide me into these, because I think for me, it's really enjoyable, and I really appreciate the things that I learn along the way. All of that to be said, I'm about to go eat, and then I gotta film another video. As always, let me know, what did I get right, what did I get wrong, what did I miss, and I will see you guys in the next one.